Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you guys today again with another preview. We got our Detroit Lions visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit Lions at 3-4, Minnesota Vikings at 2-5. This is my preview, guys. Let's start off with the injury report, though. First, with the Lions, we'll go Lions because they're away. Running back slash wide receiver slash punt returner slash kick returner Jamal Agnew has got ribs. He's out for the game in week 9. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay has a hip. He is out. That's big. Safety Tracy Walker has a foot. He is out as well. Offensive guard Joe Dahl has a back issue. He's questionable. He did not practice on Friday, so he could be a game time decision. Linebacker Christian Jones has a knee. He's questionable. He was limited practice on Friday. And cornerback Daryl Roberts has a hip and a groin. He's questionable as well. He was limited on Friday as well. So got a couple guys out. We had Decker with a knee, Hawkinson with a toe, Shelton with a wrist, and Desmond Trufant with his hamstring still were on the list, but they were full goes on Friday. So all those guys will, I'm assuming they will play, and we need all these guys right there. As for the Vikings, they're completely riddled with injuries, especially in their secondary big time. Cornerback, the rookie, Cameron Dantzler has a concussion. He's out for tomorrow. Cornerback, Holton Hill has a foot. He's out as well. Cornerback, Mark Fields II has a chest. He is out. Cornerback, Harrison Hand has a hamstring and a back issue. He's questionable. He was limited practice on Friday, so he could be a game time, but he's probably going to play. They also had wide receiver Dan Chisena on a hip. Running back, fullback, C.J. Ham with a shoulder. Wide receiver, Adam Thielen with a shoulder as well. All on the list, but were full goes on Friday, so I can see them going. But anyways, this is a big NFC North battle, guys. Like I said, 3-4 Lions and against the 2-5 Vikings. This is a big game for either squad. But let's go with the matchups and the units I think will be with the comparisons. We'll go with the Lions first. We got Matthew Stafford, 1,916 yards, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and those 5 interceptions have been pretty big. 3 or 4 of them have been almost like game-changing interceptions, by the way. He needs to really buckle down. And he's got 19 sacks against him. And he's He's throwing the ball at a 61.4 completion percentage. Not that good. Not all around horrific, but it should be 65 and over, I would say. Going up against Kirk Cousins, who has 15 sacks against him as well. He's at 1,635 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He's a turnover machine. He throws the ball to the other team a lot. So he probably has a few fumbles under his belt too. But he's completing passes at about a 65.6% completion percentage. So he's not bad. But these two quarterbacks are very similar, guys. I think they're very similar. And there's not really too much difference between them. I'd say they're not mobile. You know, they have a little bit of escapability, but they're not mobile at all. But I would give the edge to Matthew Stafford. I think he's the better quarterback overall. He's the better quarterback. Okay, now on to the running backs, guys. So the check mark goes to the quarterbacks of the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. So the running backs, we got DeAndre Swift, Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, and then throw in Kabinda as a fullback and Isaac Nada. Those guys, but those guys don't really get much playing time, or they're in there strictly for blocking duties. I don't think they've even been using Kabinda that much. Our running backs, guys, are a complete mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. I don't even know what's going on sometimes. One game they're balling, next game they're not. Bevel utilizes them well, then the next game he doesn't. So it's kind of all over the place with our running backs. Going up against their running backs, they have a couple really good ones, especially one. Delvin Cook, who's a stud, top 5 running back in the league, easy. Alexander Madison, who's another good backup to Delvin Cook, who probably could start on a few teams in the NFL. I think he's really underrated. C.J. Ham's their fullback. They got Amir Abdullah, special teams, and Mike Boone. Those guys. I'm going to give the check mark to the Minnesota Vikings. Just Delvin Cook, guys. Delvin Cook, right there. Delvin Cook and Alexander Madison. 2 really good 1-2 punches. The check mark goes to Minnesota Vikings because those guys are really good running backs. Not that we don't have good ones. It's just that Cook is a top 5 running back in the league. He's a stud. Now on to the wide receivers. We got Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, Marvin Hall, and I'm assuming Quintez Cephas is going to be activated for this game. He's been a healthy scratch for 2 games. I don't know why, but he has. Um, but now with Galladay out, which is huge, I'm sure Cephas will get plenty of playing time. So versus their guys, they got Adam Thielen. They got the rookie out of LSU, Justin Jefferson, who was a really good one. Chad Beebe, KJ Osborne, and BC Johnson kind of rounded off. This was a little bit tougher than I thought it would be for the matchup analysis, but I'm going to have to give the edge to the Vikings here, guys. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are a really solid 1-2 punch. They're just really good. They're just 2 really good wide receivers. Thielen has killed us in the past, too. And Jefferson, he's a baller. He hasn't been great every single game this year, but he's been fantastic 3 out of at least 7 games where he's actually exploded on the field and had some really big games for Minnesota, especially in a shootout. If it's a shootout, you can see Justin Jefferson will get a lot of play. So I'm going to give the check mark to the Minnesota Vikings again on this one, guys. I like our wide receivers over on our edge, but on our end, but Kenny Galladay being out hurts big time. So Minnesota gets the check mark there. Now onto the tight ends. We got T.J. Hawkinson, Jesse James. They got a couple guys over there, Irv Smith Jr. and Kyle Rudolph and Tyler Conklin. Now with our guys, Hawkinson slowly turning into a stud. I think he's really showing why we drafted him in the first round. Probably still needs to be used a little bit more, but he could be a big factor tomorrow with Galladay out. But then they got Jesse James, who's more of a blocking tight end. Can you be using the red zone? But they get him the ball sometimes. He's not big in the receiving end, but he's still a pretty solid wide receiver / tight end. But over in Minnesota, they don't utilize their tight ends that great over there. They kind of spread it around a little bit. They haven't really had any big games, either one of them. So I'm going to give the edge to the Detroit Lions in the tight end group because I think T.J. Hawkinson is way better than any of the guys they have over there. Now we'll go to the O-line. We got Taylor Decker at left tackle, Jonah Jackson, the rook from OSU, as a left guard, Frank Ragnow, the center. Big V will be our right guard, and Tyrell Crosby will probably be starting tomorrow. That's who I'm assuming that is starting because Dahl's going to be out, and Dahl kind of struggled last week as well, really bad. So I can see them going back to that unit. Moving Big V into the right guard spot and moving back Crosby at that right tackle and have him getting more reps, getting more comfortable in there because nobody was good last week on that O-line except for Decker. Decker was okay. Decker was pretty good. Versus their guys, their left tackle, Riley Reef. Left guard for them, Dakota Dozier. Center, they got a really good one in Garrett Bradbury. Right guard, Drew Samia. And then right tackle, Brian O'Neill. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Minnesota Vikings, not by much here. I just like their O-line a little bit. They protected Cousins a little bit better. They're really good at run blocking, and I'm just going to give the edge to the Minnesota Vikings here. I just think they have the stronger unit. Okay, now on to the defense. I'll start with the Lions first. Romeo Okwara, defensive end, who's had a really nice year, and a really nice bounce back year from last year. He's got 5 sacks on the year. He's playing the run better. He's creating pressure. He's doing better things. Danny Shelton, defensive tackle. Nick Williams needs to step up. He's defensive tackle. Deshaun Hand will probably get some more playing time tomorrow. Now with Tyler Flowers Flowers on IR. And he's a defensive tackle / defensive end. And then we got John Pennicini, the rookie out of Utah, defensive tackle, who's been a pretty good run stuffer for us. And it's the debut of Everson Griffin, guys. Excited about this one, defensive end. And he's frothing at the mouth, waiting for this game to happen. He's playing against his old team, Minnesota, that drafted him years ago. He spent like 9-10 years there. So this is big for Griff. It's just going to be it's going to be nice to see him donning that Honolulu blue and silver, especially when Flowers went down. It was a really good trade by them. They made the move before Flowers went down, so this actually became a better move than anticipated. Now we really need the guy. You know what I mean? So, and then their D line is Ifeadi Odenigbo. It's a tough name to say. Defensive end. Jalen Holmes, another D tackle. Jaleel Johnson, defensive tackle. They got a rookie, DJ Wonham, who's a defensive end who can get to the quarterback. Armin Watts, defensive tackle. Shamar Stephen, defensive tackle. And then another rookie that I actually really liked in the draft, James Lynch, defensive tackle out of Baylor. I'm going to give the slight edge. I'm going to give the edge to the Detroit Lions here, guys. I think they have their overall better defensive line. They're missing a lot of pieces over there in Minnesota. Michael Pierce opted out on the COVID. They lost Danielle Hunter, their star defensive end, for the year on an injury, and they also traded Yannick Ngakoue back to the Baltimore Ravens. They traded to Minnesota, then Minnesota traded him to Baltimore. So they have a couple guys that can actually get to the quarterback, but they don't have those three guys. Now, Michael Pierce, Danielle Hunter, and Ngakoue were all stud guys getting to the quarterback. So I'm going to give the edge to the Detroit Lions. I think Aquara has really turned it on this year. Hand needs to be better, though. Penasini's been really good on the run. And Shelton's starting to pick it up a little bit here and there. So, and then Everson Griffin to boot. I think he'll be a plus for the team. So I'm going to give the edge check mark to the Detroit Lions. Now onto the linebackers. We got Jamie Collins, Jelani Tavai, who I think is absolutely terrible. It's time to switch up from him. Christian Jones, who's a little bit banged up but should be playing. Reggie Ragland, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, who's a special teams guy, and then Miles Killebrew, who's been starting to turn into a special teams ace for us. Versus their guys, and they have two really good ones over there. They got Eric Kendricks, who's an absolute animal on the field, 3-down linebacker, tackling machine, playmaker, does a lot of good things on the field. Eric Wilson, who's another kind of like a tackling machine over there in Minnesota, versus the rookie Troy Dye, and then they got a guy named Hardy Nickerson as well. So I'm going to give the edge to the check mark to Minnesota Vikings. I just think their linebacking crew is just a little bit better. They got more playmakers. They got guys that rack up tackles, rack up numbers. Now onto the DBs. We got the rookie Jeff Okudah out of OSU, the cornerback, Deron Harmon, the safety, Darrell Roberts, the cornerback, who's a bit banged up but should be playing, Amani Aurore, the cornerback, the young corner from Penn State, Will Harris, the safety, Jaron Kearse, the safety, Justin Coleman, the cornerback, the slot guy, Desmond Trufant, who we need playing corner tomorrow. Finally he's back. He's been absent the last couple weeks, and hasn't really fit in to the team just yet because he's been banged up since like the first game, and then he came back too early, got hurt again. So we need him healthy. They paid him like $9 million, man, not to sit on the bench. So we need him. We need him back. Then it goes with Tony McRae, another corner, special teams guy. Then C.J. Moore, another special teams ace who plays a little bit of safety. Versus their guys over there, they got Anthony Harris, a pretty good safety. They got a lot of rookies in that secondary because they're banged up big time. Jeff Gladney, a rookie cornerback. Harrison Smith, a pretty good safety. Curtis Riley, another underappreciated safety. Another rookie, Harrison Hand, who's a little bit banged up, was probably playing. He plays corner for them. Then Chris Boyd, who's another cornerback, versus and they got Josh Metellus, another rookie who plays some safety. And then they just picked up Chris Jones, who was on our team a little bit ago. I think they picked him up last week. So they're probably getting a little bit of intel because they're playing against us. And he was actually on our squad a couple weeks ago. So a lot of teams do that. They just pick guys up for intel. So I'm going to give the check mark to us, Detroit Lions secondary. I think we overall just have the better unit. Tracy Walker is out, but I really like the way Jaron Kearse plays the game. He's physical. He's hard nosed. He doesn't take anything for granted, and he bops people around. So I really love that about him. So I'm going to give the check mark to the Detroit Lions on that one. Now the offense and the defense for the Lions. Yards per game, 350.1 yards, 22nd in the league. They rush the ball, 97.1 yards a game, 29th in the league. Passing a game, 253, 16th overall. Then points per game is what they score, 25.3. It gives them around 17th, around middle of the pack. Not bad, not that good though. Especially that rushing. That rushing needs to get up a little bit because that's bottom of the barrel right there. And then their defense, they give up 378.4 yards a game, which ranks them 22nd. 130 rush yards a game, which is tough because we're playing a really good running back. It's 23rd. Then they give up about 248.4 yards passing a game, which puts them at around 19th overall. And then they give up about 29.4, but puts them at about 26th overall. Now with the Vikings, they're a little bit better offensively than us, guys. Yards a game, 367, which puts them at 16th. They rush for about 144 yards a game, which puts them in the top 10 at six overall in the league. They pass for about 223 yards, which isn't too good. That puts them on about 23rd. And then points per game, what they score about 26.1 points per game, which I'm at around 13th. Their defense is really, really awful, really bad, guys. They give up about 411.7 yards a game, which puts them at 29th. They give up 124.4 yards on the ground, which puts them at 19th, and then they give up a ton of passing, 287.3 yards, which ranks them at 30th. That's bottom of the barrel. And then points per game, what they give up, 30.6, which puts them at 29th. So overall, we have the better defense, believe it or not, and they have the better offense. So what we need to do in order to win this football game, guys, is it's not going to be an easy task because they have one of the best running backs in the league. I love Dalvin Cook. I loved him coming out of Florida State a couple years ago. He's been banged up a lot though, especially in his NFL career. Last year was his like full season. I think he might have missed one game last year, but he was a monster when healthy. And when he's healthy this year, he's been a monster. He's missed a couple games already. But he's healthy again. He went off last week against Green Bay. He just completely tore them apart. Had like a total of 4 or 5 touchdowns. He just went off. He went off through the air and on the ground. So what you have to do, you have to try and at least slow down Dalvin Cook. It's the same thing every week, guys. It's almost the same thing every week. Stop the run, protect your quarterback, get into the quarterback's face of the opponent. And it's the same thing every week, man. But we have to talk about it. Slow down Cook, like I said, because you're gonna have a really tough time stopping him. It's next to impossible to stop a kid like that. He's so good, you know what I mean? So you have to try to slow him down. If you can stop him, more power to you. You know what I mean? That's phenomenal. That's what you want. That's what you want. But I'm just hoping we just slow him down, and you got to make Kirk Cousins throw the football. It's almost like the same thing I say every week, man. Like I said, so you got to get in Cousins' face. You got to make him feel uncomfortable. You got to blitz him, create some pressure, be around him, hands up, all that stuff. The D-line got to get their hands up. They just they got to knock him into the dirt. That's what they need to do. They just need to make him feel uncomfortable, create pressure, sack him, hit him, do everything you can. But to kind of slow down Cook to make that possible. Because last week, Minnesota didn't even have to throw the football. I think they threw the football like 15, 16 times against Green Bay. They didn't have to. They didn't have to throw. Because Cook just dominated the line of scrimmage. Just dominated the run game. So we can't have that. So, and another thing we have to do, we have to protect Stafford. Last week, we had an absolute horrible, horrible effort by our O-line. Embarrassing, to tell you the truth. Stafford was sacked like 5 times. He was hit like over 7, 8 times. He was pressured all day, hurried all day. We can't have that. We have to protect number 9. And if you protect number 9, you can throw against this team because, like I said, they're 30th in the league against the pass. They give up a ton of passes. They give up a ton of points. Everything. They give up a lot of yards and points. So you have to make Stafford feel comfortable. You got to protect them. Their O-line has to protect them. And I think they will because they were embarrassed last week. That was embarrassed. And football is a funny sport like that, You can come, because I think the Lions have been okay on their O-line. Their O-line hasn't been fantastic, hasn't been great, but we got 2 or 3 really good O-linemen. We've got a couple weak links in there, but we got 3, I think, really good ones in Decker, Ragnow, and Jonah Jackson. I think those three are staples for years. And I think we're still missing a bit on the right tackle and the other guard spot. The other guard spot. Who knows what's going to be Big V or Tyrone? You know what I mean? So we have to see what we got there. But I think we're improving every time. So, but last week was a setback with that O-line. Last week was a major setback, and I think they'll play much better. Protect Stafford, let him eat, let those wide receivers eat because there's a lot of corners. They have a lot of like second, third string guys out there this week. It's not all their starters out there in that secondary. They're depleted, so we should be able to take advantage of that. Like I said, get the wide receivers involved. Vikings are terrible on D, so that's what they have to do. And we'll see if Hawkinson can get involved as well. They have a couple good linebackers. They have a couple good safeties. So I see more of the wide receivers having a better day, and then the running backs out. I see Swift having a good day with some swing passes, some cuts into the middle, all kinds of plays that you can do for Swift. You got to get these running backs involved. Bevel has to get these running backs involved. You can't just shy away and not run the football. You have to run the football. So that's it, guys. Slow down Cook a little bit. Getting Cousins' face as a defense. Get in his face. Lock up those wide receivers too as well. Thielen and Jefferson are no joke. So if you could kind of lock those guys up, that's the one. That's another thing that's going to scare me a bit because Thielen is a technician. He's an absolute technician. One of the best wide receivers at running routes. He just does everything good. So it's going to be difficult to kind of contain him. I'm not too sure who's going to be on him. I'd probably get if I was to guess, if Trufant's back, I'm guessing Trufant's on him most of the game. I'm guessing Trufant will be on him if he's starting. I can't really see him sitting. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with the Okudah thing, but the way the Lions like to treat their rookies, I can see Okudah not starting, but I can see him still playing. He's definitely going to play. But I can see Trufant probably on Thielen, and I can see Amani Oruwariye on Justin Jefferson. I can see a combination of him and Okudah actually on him. So we can see where that takes us. We can see where that takes us. It makes me a little bit nervous, but Dalvin Cook is the big worry. But getting Cousins' face, you knock him around, we can win this ball game, make him feel uncomfortable. So that's it, guys. But my prediction is going to be I'm going to take the Lions on this one. The Minnesota as a whole, they don't impress me, obviously, with their record. But their record is a little misleading. They can play good football at times, but I think they're struggling big time on defense. Us not having Kenny Golladay is going to sting a bit. But I think we win, and I'm taking the Lions, guys, 29-23. A little bit different than I had in the one pride. I don't remember. I think I had 27-20 on the run, on the OPP there, but don't quote me on that. But I know I had the Lions. But I'm taking the Lions 29-23. I know a lot of guys aren't taking Detroit this week. For some reason, I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling they're going to win this game. I just think they're going to win this game. Minnesota does not scare me. Dalvin Cook scares me. Adam Thielen can scare me at times, but that team as a whole, no. So 29-23, guys. That's my final answer. That's what I'm sticking with. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bottom right, smash it, hit it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, hit all, so you can get all my videos, and you can comment on it, like and comment. Everything I do, I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. You know what I mean? I usually get back to everybody. I don't really have a crazy amount of comments anyways, but yeah, they comment on my videos and I'll get back to you, negative or positive. We'll go to war. We'll have a fun time. It's all good, guys. All right, guys, so Lions 29, Vikings 23. Let's go, Honolulu Blue and Silver. Go Lions. Boom.